Sabotage. I wanted to break down self-sabotage. Um, so I used to self-sabotage. So when I help people, I don't just come from a place of knowledge, education, wisdom, teaching, not just. So I do that, but I also come from a place of experience. So I can relate with you. I can relate with you is because years ago, before my car accident, um, I was self-sabotaging. I had anxiety. I had I was stressed all the time, angry all the time, bitter all the time. So if we're just talking about self-sabotage, things like I'm ugly or I don't feel good or like these thoughts would come up in my head. And people don't understand us, right? Like we start to say, oh, they won't understand us because, they don't know how I feel. These are thoughts inside. They start coming up. So the way that I can help you now in the present moment is different from how I help myself starting off. So when I first started to help myself, so you can do this on your own, okay? So if you need to write this down, write it down. But what I did to overcome self-sabotage was taking the control back from the things that were controlling me. So at that time, I just thought it was all me in my head. But maybe it was things that were controlling me, like family, friends, school, work, these medications that I'm on, these programs that people have told me. So even though you are self-sabotaging yourself, you're a smart person to grab a book, to listen to an audiobook. I know you've read books. I know you listen to things on TV and you watch particular podcasts or you watch certain things on Netflix. I started to watch things like I watched Tony Robbins' I'm Not Your Guru on Netflix. And I've done many other things, countless things. I mean, I can name so many mentors, so many gurus. I could show you my library of just names and people who inspired me. But watch something, read something, get insights, get perspective. When you do this, when you watch stories, also watch stories. A great podcast that I am going to promote is Tom Bilyeu's Impact Theory and Tom Bilyeu's Health Theory. There are so many podcasts that are beautiful and amazing, and he has guests on his podcast that have podcasts themselves. So I'm not discrediting, like there's Tim Ferriss, there's I just want to blurt out so many names of the guests he had on, but nonetheless, watch different podcasts. Doesn't have to be that one. And listen to stories, okay? Listen to people's stories, watch TED Talks and stuff. Because what stories is going to do is it's going to relate with something that you have encountered, something you're going through, something you're suffering. We're not the only ones that are going through pain and suffering. There are other people out there that have gone through pain and suffering and that see life in beauty that it is. So what we can do is take that away from that story and know that, our hard times are short-lived. Okay? We're going to get through this. We're going to get past this. And reprogram your mind. Every day, start to say, I love you. I love you. so weird to come out of my mouth when I first started this. I used to self-sabotage. I used to say, I hate you, I'm ugly, oh fuck, I'm not good enough. I used to swear a lot. I still swear, but not in like that though. Not like about myself or bad on somebody else. Um, so saying affirming thoughts and uplifting things to yourself to override the negativity is very important. So it takes I say 5 times the positive to overweigh the negative. So if a negative thought's coming up saying you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like kind of fat, kind of ugly, and oh look at that. Stop right away when a thought comes up to say that. Now going forward is it's coming up, so shut it up, stop it, and say you're beautiful. And then another thought's starting to come up, shut it up and say no, I'm looking good there. It's going to start to look good. It's starting to look better. Get used to being uncomfortable saying things to yourself. That's what I did. I listened to all this information and I started taking action. So take action. If you can't work with me, if you can't afford it, you don't want to do much, you could do much. You could do a lot. Because I was in a position where I couldn't do much. And I could do things, I could implement things into my life at that time that you could do for yourself right now. You could pick up a book that you have sitting around and just start reading it. You can stop watching Netflix. You can stop watching comedy. You can stop watching horror. You can stop watching vines and clips. Stop letting everything suck you away. Start using that time now to say, I love you. I'm beautiful. I'm successful. I'm smart. I'm healthy. I'm taking action. I'm going to do this. And do it. So when a thought comes and it's about to say something to you, to say like, I'm ugly or I'm not good enough, I can't do that. No. When it comes, I could do that. I'm handsome. I'm gorgeous. I'm beautiful. I'm talking if you're a female. I'm beautiful. I'm divine. I'm so beautiful that when I walk outside, people can feel that energy around me and they're starting to notice it. Trust me. I was a pimple face, ugly person. I'm not saying I'm good looking or the best good looking or anything like that. I'm saying that if I can still, imagine if I still today was saying the things I was saying before, I wouldn't feel beautiful and I look the same as I do today, right? 10 years ago. People meet me like, nothing's wrong with your face. You look at why are you talking so bad? I used to just do it to myself. So stop doing this to yourself. What are other, if you have questions, if I'm going to post this on YouTube, please like and subscribe and share and comment and tell me what are the things that you are self-sabotaging yourself about. I used to do it about my health, my body, my skin, just people, education, information, knowledge. I didn't think I was good enough. I thought that I needed to stay on medication. I don't know, as far as it can go. I wanted to commit suicide. I could go deep. I used to want to contemplate killing myself. And it's not a joke, but I did at one point. I did. And I'm not saying this as a joke. I'm not saying this as because I got over it. Someone is going through this. Yeah. So bring your strength back. Bring your strength back into you and take action. I took those pills and I dumped it and I challenged myself. I just felt inside that there's something there and I know that there's gonna be more, there's better, there's a way. All right, I'm making this because I love people. I love you guys. Like, I love people. I love people. And I'm forgiving and I forgive, and I love myself. I love myself too, right? Like, and I always didn't, but at the time, don't use that as an excuse and be like, oh, well, you didn't, so I'm at that. But no, do it now. What I didn't do, learn from my mistakes and do it now. Start affirming your life. Start taking daily actions, daily habits. All right. And reach out, because I'll be here for you and I'll help you. All right. Bye.